Hi there. I'm going to do a short series of videos, starting off with the first video, which is this one now, the cockpit drill. The next video is going to be on moving off and stopping, where I'll be doing a bit more of what you should be doing. So, and then so on and so on, leading up to the point where you'll take your test. I'm hoping these videos will help bring people along when they first start driving. As you probably know, loads of videos on driving, so by all means check out these videos. I'll put links above as well, which will be related to the videos or the next one that you want to go on to. So the cockpit drill, you've probably heard off your friends, oh god, cockpit drill, you're going to be sat there forever and so on. Well, it's actually quite important. So what's going to happen in the first driving lesson, you've arranged it with your instructor, they turn up at the door, they knock on the door. What they're going to expect of you is your driving license straight away. They're going to want to see it. And license checker, they could ask you, can I see your license checker, to make sure you've got a clean license. Make sure you haven't got points in your license. And also, if you're wearing glasses for distance, they're going to expect you to wear them, because they're going to do an eyesight test at the beginning of it. Well, if they don't do an eyesight test, how do they know that you're good enough to drive on the roads? Because if you can't see over 20.5 metres and read a reg plate, then you're not going to be able to take your driving test, are you? So they'll do an eyesight test at the beginning. Then, if you've never driven before, then they're not going to expect you to start outside your house, because that's too much pressure. So what they'll do is they'll ask you to go in the passenger seat. They'll drive you somewhere fairly quiet road. Then you'll change over. You'll do the normal formality, which is exchange terms and conditions, give them a price list, and introduce yourself properly. That's when you probably take details of the license at the same time. And that's when they'll talk to you about the cockpit drill. So the cockpit drill is explaining to you about how to set the car up properly. Now people say, I'm not doing it, it's dead easy, just get in, put seatbelt on, shuffle around and I'm ready. It's not as simple as that. You need to make sure your seatbelt's adjusted for you. So if you're quite a petite person, you might want to lower the seatbelt so it's not sticking in your neck. Or if it's resting on your shoulder too much, you might want to raise your seatbelt. So this is the stuff that the first lesson they'll cover. They'll explain these basic things that people don't really talk about, but you need to know. It's one of the biggest things you need to know when you first start learning how to drive. They'll talk about the controls on the dashboard, the indicators to go left and right, how you hold the steering wheel to turn the wheel, and I'll put a nice video at the top to do with how to turn the steering wheel. That's going to help you straight away, because people do struggle with the steering. You know, they don't know how much steer at that point there. Maybe they've never driven in a go kart or never been on the road. All of a sudden they're doing octopus hands, not sure what they're doing. So yeah, they'll cover how to steer, they'll cover how to change gear, what the gears are, what first gear is, how fast you go off in first, out when to change gear, and they'll cover them pedals down by your feet, because there's 3 pedals. And if you think like this, you've got your accelerator, your brake and your clutch. So as you're facing the pedals, your right foot should be next to the accelerator, the middle pedal should be nothing, and your left foot should be where the brake is. No, so where the clutch is. So you've got accelerator, brake and clutch. So they'll explain what the pedals are, how you're going to use them, and then they'll also explain about how to change gear at the same time. Once the cockpit drill's done, which that takes on average about, depending on the instructor, between 25 minutes and 40 minutes. Depends how much detail, how much questions you're asking, because don't forget, you're paying for the lessons. So if you're not sure what they're saying, ask them to explain it more, you know, because the more you can understand it, the better you're going to get out of it. And then as you move on from that point there, depending on how long you've taken, so if we say you've taken 40 minutes out of an hour lesson, there's 20 minutes left. But if you've driven 5 or 10 minutes to where you want to go, then it's another 5 or 10 minutes to get back. So you're talking that hour's gone. So most instructors will ask for a 2-hour lesson at the beginning, so that you can do a bit of driving. But if you've got an hour lesson, then that's probably taken up. Okay. Now the next lesson, which would be the second hour, which would be moving off and stopping. So what I'm going to do is I'll stop the video at this point there, and the next video I'll talk about stopping and starting, and I'll show you how to do it properly. Okay. Hope this is helping you. If it does, give it the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe.